Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with a big stick and a magic wand or a scepter. If I were a king or queen, I would maybe have a scepter. I don't think they do that anymore. Probably not. Probably an outdated practice. But that's our idiom today for supersize your business. This is an idiom and an expression or a proverb. We're doing 100 days of Proverbs beginning of 2021 to kind of get us set and rolling into a new year as we work toward growing and supersizing and building the business that it is that we want in the world, especially given all the changes and craziness that's happened over the past year. It's been about a year now since we had the COVID pandemic hit, and all of the changes and things that life and governments and the world has thrown at us as a result of that, as well as all the normal things that are usually coming our way with respect to running our business and growing our business. This expression has been around for at least a couple of centuries. It's attributed to the first Baron Acton. I think that's how you say it, Acton. I don't think it's action, but the first one, he was the 8th baronet or something. And he said that when a person has absolute power over other people or things, it makes him or her corrupt. And that nearly, I think he said something to the effect that it morally destroys their nature and it fills them with destructive pride and ego, and they make choices and decisions and do things that they may not have otherwise done. I think Shakespeare used it in Macbeth. John Emmerich Edward Dahlberg Acton was his name. He's got one of those like thing names. And I've covered this idiom before, but I don't remember much about it except what it means and the big long name of the guy that's attributed with first saying it. It also showed up in George Orwell's Animal Farm. That entire book is a depiction of how power can corrupt and absolute power can corrupt absolutely. So now, who are some real world examples of this? Napoleon is the one that most people use as someone that wanted power, always wanted power. And when he got power, he used it in ways that weren't necessarily considered kind or wise. And we know what happened to him because of that. Now, modern day, there's a lot of things that have power over us, and absolute power we're seeing demonstrated corrupts them. The big social media organizations right now and the media in general has got absolute crazy power right now over millions and millions of people, and it's corrupt. There's no longer news and reporting in our world, at least not in America these days. There's just the what the media companies and certain leaders want us to hear and see and talk about, which is a topic for another day. So power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Have you personally experienced this? Now, we all started our own businesses, right, for a reason, and we run and are growing and supersizing our business. We want to have power and control over our own lives and over what we create in the world, but that's not the same as absolute power, lording other people over other people like a king, or being unrealistic and unkind in our expectations and what it is that we're here to do and how we're here to show up and what we want to create in the world. There's things that we can do naturally to protect us and protect our organizations so that we don't have an imbalance of power. So we don't have a culture that isn't healthy for people involved and all the people involved in our organization and the people that we serve. We are here to create and solve problems, or not create problems, solve problems and provide solutions, not add more problems. So what are some of the ways that you can easily and effortlessly make sure that you are having the control and the things you want in your organization to create the change that you want to see in the world, but that it doesn't become unhealthy or imbalanced? And now I'm an interesting person. When it comes to balance, I don't believe that we can have complete and total balance in all areas and aspects of our life all the time. I just, maybe that's just a false belief of mine, but I don't believe it's possible to have ultimate balance in all the areas and aspects of our life. But that's something I'm personally striving for, not balance, but my version of my vision and my version of what I want and consider perfect for me in each of those areas and aspects of my life. So I want to balance those. And all of this begins with you as the leader of your organization. You want to be really clear on what it is that you're trying to create, what you want to create in the world, what kind of an organization you want to build, how you want to show up in the world. You want to be that example. You want to create systems as your organization grows. You want to add people that match that vision and are behind 100%, not just saying they're behind it 100%, but really want to help you create what it is that you want to create in the world. And then you want to create systems and procedures and processes that ensure that things that need to get done, and that they get done in a way that shows control and consistency, but that also has kind of a checks and balances, just like an accounting system, to make sure that we aren't letting one area or aspect of our organization override and take over every other area, except for, of course, our executive decision, which is to set the direction and the vision and the purpose for the organization as a whole. But we want to have checks and balances in each of the other systems as they come online, so that we are consistent, so that we are clear, so we are moving in the direction we want to go. And then after you've grown and you've created some of those processes and systems, we want to audit our culture. We want to audit our systems. We want to make sure they're working. We want to make sure that we're eliminating any little fiefdoms that might try to pop up in the organization, because different people, when they're given power in different positions of power, exercise the control and that power in different ways. Some in really healthy ways, some in very unhealthy ways. I've spent 25 plus years in corporate America, and saw lots of examples of the old dictatorial style of leadership and management. Hey, I am the president, therefore whatever I say goes. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of it. Now, those days, I'm sure that still exists to some extent, but for the most part, once people become more enlightened, they realize that you can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar, so you might as well be a good leader and a good human being. I say you might as well just be a good human being and lead and be the example for the rest of your organization, and have your organization be an example for the rest of the world. I would love to know your experience with this particular idiom, the things that you've seen or are seeing around us now or in the past. Let's not future cast anything about corruption and absolute power into our future, because I don't think, at least many of us in America, I don't think we want to see that. That's not what our country and our life and our businesses are all about. It's about having the freedom to create what we want. And we need to all protect that by creating organizations that provide real value to the world, solve real problems, and make the world a better place. All right, that's it. So I've got today. Have an absolutely amazing day. I'm going to get back to lording over my kingdom. I invite you to do the same. That's it. Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it in your business and your life right now to create an easier, almost effortless life in the areas that you want, especially in the areas of your business. Take care.